What is up, you guys? It is Jay the Great, and welcome back to a new and more improved quality J Talks episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of J Talks, man. It's a lovely Friday afternoon. The sun is shining, birds are chirping, and here we are, episode 11. And I'm sure, as y'all could tell that I've been watching, all the podcasts, I'm on my own this week, and I had some things that came up. But I was gonna thank my co-host John and my the guests that I have had on. So Wildcat Bold's been there a few times, and Tommy for being there. Because without them, it's just not as good as a show. And I'm gonna make this show good as well. And the reason sometimes I do this on my own in the first place is to continue to develop for them and for you guys to be a better host and just a better conversationalist in general. You know. But I want to thank y'all as well for all the support, and just let you guys know you guys are appreciated. No matter how much support you show, just watching it, or just leaving a comment, whatever it is, I appreciate it. And please let us know what kind of topics you would want spoken on this podcast or any other, the one with John and guests, or the one where it's just me here. Please, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be sports. It can be anything. You know, and I will do my best to do so. But let's start out with a glaring topic, I think, in all our lives: quarantine, quarantine 2.0. At this point, you know, it's the feeling, the aroma that I get when I'm out and about. It's different. The first time it was a sense of paranoia, a sense of fear, a sense of anxiousness, anxiety in people's hearts and minds. And I could feel that the first time the quarantine, happened. Now it's more of a sense of exhaustion and, you know, just tiredness. People are tired of this shit. They're tired of quarantine. And so am I, you know. Um, but I have heard good news. I heard Oxford has developed a reliable vaccine, and they're in the final stages of testing and development, which is amazing news for I think the entire world. Because once vaccines are in the U.S. and they're produced on a mass scale, that should be all she wrote as far as quarantine. That should be a memory behind us. Um, Hopefully masks go away. I partially don't like masks. Wear them for now. Do what you're supposed to do. But once it's over, I can't wait till it's over. Until the world is back to normality, to normal. You know. I think this will be a moment in history that will be known as eye opening. Eye opening and head scratching because it's just a strange time. Who would have thought a year ago, right, that the world would shut down in a way, you know, the US economy basically shutting down, you know, businesses, all kinds of all from all fields closing down because of an illness or a pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it. It's very bizarre, and I think we've learned a lot. And I think one thing we can take away from this is not taking things for granted. Me personally, I was in school when it first happened in college. It was my another semester, and I was stressed. Yeah, I mean, college is stressful. I was doing other things. I had, you know, the YouTube platform, school, my personal responsibilities, my other side job, 9 to 5 job, and it was stressful. But in a way, now looking back on it, I miss it. I miss the normal life, the normality of it all. The this the ability to go hang out with your friends at the movies or go to school for class, man. It's something we take for granted greatly. And I think now that we've actually are forced to stay home, it's eye opening and really lets us know to be appreciative of it all. I think that's the big one of the biggest lessons here. And of course, to sanitize, which we should have been even doing before quarantine. You know, But I think the sense of fear has dwindled this time as people are not really scared. They're just tired of it all. They want it to end. And there's a few people that are paranoid about it. I personally was never very worried about it. I was just more upset about quarantine and a little bit confused. I think we all were. And we all had a right to be so, you know. But quarantine 2.0 hopefully ends soon in the next coming months. God willing, we'll be back in shape for regularly scheduled life. You know, that's all that can really be said. Um, California is one of the if you're in California, it's one of the more stricter states as far as quarantine. Eventually, they're gonna have to lighten up because life must go on. It must, for all our sakes, mentally more so than anything else. But yeah, quarantine 2.0, guys. Tired of it. But let's get to the sports now. The UFC. The UFC. Okay, we have some good news. Let's talk about the most current news. That's gonna the most upcoming fight here. Okay, Darren Till versus Whitaker. All right, that's a fight. It's two, middle for the middleweight division. It's for probably those guys are in high contention. I'm guessing. Darren Till had a good performance against Kevin Gastelum in his last fight. Kevin Gastelum seemed not to take credit away from Darren. He seemed kind of gun shy. I don't know why. Maybe because Darren says he didn't expect Darren to be so. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm trying to make a guess here, but he looked good either way. He looked sharp, strong, and he got the job done against Kevin Gastelum. You know, who actually just lost his fight to the Joker. I forgot the guy's name. I think it's like Jack Williamson, something like that. Excuse me if I got the name wrong. But Darren Till will be facing Whitaker, Robert Whitaker, who just obviously lost the belt to Israel Adesanya, who I'll we also be talking about momentarily. But so we have two guys. As far as striking is concerned, Darren is a very good striker, very good, very technical, very sharp. You know, um, he's not as good as Stylebender, obviously, but he is good, and he's a formidable opponent. Robert Whitaker, I have to say though, I think he's better, well-rounded. He's been in well, more fights against world-class opposition. So honestly think Robert gets the job done. And this is one thing I noticed about Robert. He's always on his A game. You know, even against Israel, he was just outmatched, and Israel had the better game plan that night, and he got outgunned. Sorry if that makes a lot of noise. Um, Robert Whitaker against Israel, he came in there, I think wanting to prove a point, kind of fighting the way he did against Yoel, maybe even more reckless, to be honest. And I think he might have underestimated Israel a little, and Israel capitalized and got the job done. I don't think he'll do this against Darren Till. I think he's learned from his mistakes. He learns from his mistakes, and he will. I think it'll be a good fight, but I think Robert gets it done with it because of his experience and his skill. I mean, he's fucking good, man. He's really good. He beat you all twice. Arguably, you can debate the other way around. You can make the case that you all won those, but it's very close either way. You know, and this is an exciting fight. This takes place tomorrow. It's a UFC fight night. This would be a good fight. I think Whitaker gets it done via decision. I don't think either one of them knocks each other out. I think both of them have learned this through agony and defeat that they shouldn't just throw for the fences unless the opportunity presents itself clearly. If there's a big opening, they will take it. But I have a feeling it'll go to decision. Like I said, I'm usually wrong on my predictions most of the time, so I might be dead wrong if someone gets knocked out in the first round. Who knows? But that's my prediction. But now going backwards a little, Joseph Benavides versus Figueredo. As far as that performance, one of the most dominating title fight performances I've ever seen, and one of the most dominant I've seen in a long time. Figueredo was over 85%, I believe, accuracy with significant strikes. He took him down. He killed him. Joseph Benavidez didn't even look like he belonged in there. No disrespect to Joseph, but he didn't. It's a tough pill to swallow for Joseph Benavidez. Benavidez, after the fight was in tears, rightfully so. He's been there several times and he's came up short every time. But we got to give him his respect. He's one of the greatest, fighters in that division ever. You know, one of the greatest flyweights of all time. And that's something that can never be taken away. Never. As far as Figueredo, the guy is very, very good. The only downside is the division he's in. It's not very exciting. It's not something that brings the fans out in waves and have people talking and doesn't create much buzz, to be honest. You know, Cejudo there brought some kind of buzz, some way. I don't know how that's possible. Um, but Figueredo is a very good fighter. I don't see anyone beating him for a while. He's very, very good. Has a lot of power. He's young, hungry lion. He's a young, hungry lion. Kind of like Petr Yan in the last UFC pay per view. Long, young, hungry lion with all the goods. Beating the old man. The journeyman in a way, the journeyman. No disrespect to Benavidez, but I gotta call it how it is, and that's how it is. Jose Aldo was, on the downside as well, despite being in his early 30s. He'd been in many, many wars. Benavidez has been in many, many wars, and he got bested by the younger, fresher dude. That's just the way it works in the fight game. Your window isn't very open. The window for opportunity for a title, is mostly narrow for most fighters. It's a narrow window of opportunity. It closes very quickly. Fighters are constantly evolving. Getting better, stronger, faster, more technical at earlier ages. You know, as years go on, that'll be what will happen. Fighters will be stronger, better nutrition, better trained, better equipped to be a fighter. Justin Benavidez, in all honesty, is a fighter from the past. So is Jose Aldo. And that's what we're seeing here. Tony Ferguson, also. I love Tony, who I'll be talking about also. Tony has been there. And it's different. He just never got the shot because of, you know, circumstance. Every time he was going to have a title shot against Khabib, something happens. Someone gets hurt, someone misses weight, some bullshit happens. And when he finally got it close to the shot, he lost to a younger, like before, a younger, fresher fighter, Justin Gaethje. Very talented as well. Hits like a fucking truck. And that's just the trend that we've been seeing as of late. You know, that's just the fight game. It hurts. Fighters have an insane amount of pride in their hearts. Rightfully so. They're fighters. It's one of the toughest things to do, aside from being a military or police officer. It's probably the hardest thing to do. Putting your body on the line, your health on the line, and your pride and your manhood on the line. People forget that. People are putting their manhood and their pride on the line. Because let me tell you something. When you lose, especially the biggest fight of your life, is almost no harder pill to swallow. Losing a fight sucks. When it matters most, it hurts even more. You feel like you're not enough. You feel like you're not enough of a man. You feel like you let your family down. You let your city down. You let your country down, your gym down, your coaches down, yourself. That's the fight game. Fuck the injuries, man. Honestly, that's part of it, of course. But the main thing that will hurt more is defeat. That hurts way more than a punch to the face. Trust me. Trust me. Injuries heal. You know, injuries heal quick. But your spirit doesn't heal quickly. Your spirit doesn't. And that's just reality of the game. But talking about Tony Ferguson, I got a question from somebody. Shout out to it was a page on Instagram. They sent me a question saying, "Who do you want Tony Ferguson to fight next?" If I had to choose personally who I would want him to fight next, let's see. I would say, let me think for a second here. So we know what we do know right now. Justin's gonna fight Khabib. That's what's gonna happen, right? And at 155, who else is left out there? There's Dustin Poirier. Um, he's up there, man. He's been killing the game. Beat Dan Hooker, beast. Who else is out there? It's Dustin Poirier. As a matter of fact, let me check. Let me check the rankings real quick here. Let me see if I could. Sorry, guys, my computer's being a little weird right now. Let me go here. Give me a second. Rankings. Let's see who's in contention right now. I mean, Conor McGregor's there. I don't really, honestly, I don't count McGregor at all right now. I'm sorry. No hate on the man, but let's be honest. I don't see him fighting there anytime soon, anyways. Let's see here. I'm trying to see lightweight, pound for pound. Nope, I don't want to see that. Let's see. So we got Khabib as the champion. Justin, who's gonna fight him. You got Tony, Dustin, Connor, and Dan. Right. So as far for Tony, I mean, there's Dustin. I think that'd be a good fight. Dustin's looking very well. I think they. So I would say this. Okay, if I had to say what I want personally, have Justin and Khabib fight. Maybe in the same card have, if Tony's healthy enough, of course, and Dustin, who just had a hell of a war with Dan Hooker, if he's willing, have him fight Dustin, and the winners of those fight each other for the belt. I think that's what I would say. And if Dustin can't make it, I would say Dan get in there. If Dustin's too injured, have Dan fight Tony. I think both of those are very good fights. But I think Dustin is more deserving because he beat Dan in a very close fight. But I had it for Dustin. So that's who I think should fight Tony. Dustin Poirier, I think, should fight Tony Ferguson. I think it'll be a hell of a fight. It'll be a war. Trust me. Trust me. It'll be a fucking war. But yeah, that's who I think should fight him next. Here's some more UFC news. Okay, we have Masvidal. We all know lost in a title match to Kamaru Usman, right? And he lost in pretty bad fashion. He got dominated. Um, I talked about this in the last podcast. If you want to check it out, I have a playlist of all the podcasts of each type. This kind, the J&J, and I have an older one down there somewhere. But he was on ESPN. This was a while ago. Sorry for waiting so long, but saying if he could choose any fight right now, he'd want an immediate rematch against Usman. That's the fight he wants most. Not Connor, not Nate, Usman. And what does that tell us? That he's a man with great pride. He's a man that wants to, right his wrongs. And to me, let's say he gets a full camp. Let's say this fight is done. Will it go much different? Maybe. But I think he wins. I don't. I think Usman still gets the job done. I think Masvidal is just. I don't think he has, the tools, the toolbox, the tool set to deal with Usman's wrestling. You know, Usman, people don't give him enough respect. Call him Snoozemon, call him fucking whatever you want. He's the number one fighter in that division. He's the best in the planet. He's the best 170-pound fighter on the planet. You know? Yeah, he makes you sleep, go to sleep. He hugs. Call it whatever you want. He's the best. And he beat Masvidal. He beat Woodley and Colby for a reason. He chooses his battles, wisely. That's what champions do. You want to know why Daniel lost to Stipe? Not because Stipe's better, but because he didn't choose the right battle to fight. He decided to strike with a very good boxer, a taller, longer man, bigger man, and he paid the price for it. In my opinion, I think DC's a better fighter. You know, I think Daniel Cormier is a better fighter than Stipe Miocic, and Stipe is one of the greatest of all time. So no disrespect to Stipe, but I think Daniel's a better fighter. When he wrestles, he is the better fighter. We saw that in the first round. He smashed his ass. Mauled his ass, threw his ass. Why? Because he's a better wrestler than Stipe. But after that round, his pride got the best of him and he started striking. And he paid the price. Stipe made the championship adjustment because Stipe's a champion. And he got the job done. I honestly think if Daniel would have wrestled, he would have won the fight by decision. I really do. But that's the same thing with Usman and Masvidal here. I think he can't. I mean, could he beat Usman? Is it impossible? Of course not. Nothing is impossible in the fight game. And to be honest, it'd be better for business. Why wouldn't it be, right? Who wouldn't want Masvidal as champion? I would. Shit would sell like crazy. We could have fucking, Conor and Masvidal title contention. That'd be fucking massive. You know, we could do so much with that. But you got to beat the champion to be the champion. Beat the best to be the best. And I just don't see him doing it. I don't see it. I love Masvidal much more than I like Usman. To be fair, I like Usman, but yeah, he is kind of boring. His fight style is boring when he has to make it boring. But he's a champion. He earned it. And to be the champ, you gotta beat the champ. I would like to see it again though. I'd like to see it again just to put the nail on the coffin. To put this to rest. Um, I believe because of the dominant fashion in which Masvidal lost, I do believe he needs to fight someone else. I think Gilbert deserves the next shot. I mean, and maybe Masvidal should fight Leon. Maybe Leon Edwards. Maybe Colby. Maybe one of those guys. I heard Tyron wants to fight Colby, but I honestly don't want to see that. I think Tyron needs to take some time. As a man, as a fighter, he has so much on his plate. And he's lost in dominant fashion twice. He doesn't even look like the same fighter to me. And you want to fight Colby, who fucking barely lost to Usman. Barely. If that would have went to the fifth, if he hadn't got knocked out, could have easily gone to Colby. And you want to fight him? I don't know, Woodley. I love Woodley too, man. I just want him to do. I just want that him. I want them to do right by him. That's all. But yeah, that's UFC news. I think that's it. That's all that I could find. Um, let's do a quick NFL segment. This is something I actually wanted to do. You know what? I'm gonna save it for the podcast where I have my co-host John, and my guest Wildcat Bull, because this is something that's more interactive. So I'm gonna save that. Let's go to the NBA. Okay, there was several scrimmages yesterday and Wednesday, July 22nd. So let's look at those results here. Let's go ahead and see this. Okay. So there were several popular teams that played. So let's talk Wednesday. LA Clippers, Orlando Magic. Clippers 99, Magic 90. Cool. Denver Nuggets, Washington Wizards. Nuggets 89, Wizards 82. Pelicans got a dominating win over the Brooklyn Nets. It was 99-68. I believe that was the biggest blowout of all of the scrimmages. I believe. Let me see. Miami Heat 104, Sacramento Kings 98. And this is Thursday, July 23rd. Milwaukee Bucks 113, Spurs 92. Next game, Indiana Pacers 91, Portland Trailblazers 88. Dallas Mavericks 108, Lakers 104, and Suns 101, Jazz 88. Okay. So obviously ESPN and all these sports, news platforms have been talking about the Lakers and LeBron and all this shit. How he has the gray in his beard and how he's still the fastest man on the court. Lakers, I think, are going to be just fine. I think they still win the championship. Yes, they lost Rajon Rondo, but they got Deion Waiters, they got J.R. Smith, and I think they'll manage. LeBron has AD, man. He has fucking Anthony Davis with him. All right. He has a lot of good, I think, a lot of good pieces that fit the puzzle. Danny Green as well. All the pieces he has down there, I think it's good for him. It's good for the Lakers. I think Rajon will be back sooner than later. He's a tough dude, type of guy to bounce back quickly. He has been hurt several times, but he always comes back. So I believe in Rajon Rondo. I always say this is old news, but Avery Bradley isn't there. I think they can manage without him. No disrespect to Avery, he's a very good player. But I'm excited. Next Thursday, the NBA season resumes in Orlando, in the bubble, right? And it's gonna be an exciting time. Finally, something to be excited for. Finally, something to excite the masses. You know, and I'm a sports advocate, so I'll say this: if you're watching right now, you're not really a sports person. I'd give it a shot. Sports is more than just watching people score points. It's inspiring. It's motivating. It's exciting. You know, and yeah, you're gonna have to learn. If you don't understand sports at all, like you don't know anything about basketball or nothing, you learn, and you'll really appreciate it. I guarantee it. Man or female, whether you're male or female, whatever, give it a shot. You'll enjoy it. Trust me. It gives me inspiration watching them, seeing the greatest athletes in the world go at it. Nothing like it. And I'm talking basketball, football, UFC, boxing, everything, baseball, all of it. It's worth it. Sports gives people hope. That's what we need to back. That's why this quarantine has to come to an end. And it is, and it will, and we'll be back. Sports will be back in full action, and we'll be happy. I hope you do better. Maybe it'll even help you do better in your own life. It certainly has helped me. Certainly. But that's the NBA. There isn't much to speak about, but I wanted to talk about that for a little bit to give you guys some context on what's going on. So let's see here. Anything else news before I go to? Okay, I think that's all the sports news. Let's go to current events. Current events. Oh, actually, there's one more thing. Someone wanted me to talk about this. You know who you are. LeBron versus Michael Jordan. Who's the best of all time? I've spoken about this before. All right. Okay. LeBron versus Michael Jordan. We got to be detailed here and specific to break this down. LeBron is more efficient of a scorer. He averages, he averages a better 2 point percentage, 3 point percentage from the field, and an overall percentage from the field. Let's get that out of the way. He averages more assists, more rebounds than Jordan. Yeah, Jordan averages 3 more points, but he takes more shots per game. So if LeBron was a ball hog, maybe he could do the same. You know, Jordan averages 3 more shots per game than LeBron, which is what, 9 points, right? But he makes 11 out of 22 on average. That's his average. 11 for 22 was his career average. Michael Jordan's. LeBron's is around 9 out of 19. So it's close. So it's not like LeBron takes as many shots and misses more. Let's keep that in mind. So LeBron statistically is better than Jordan. Okay, I believe Jordan might average slightly more steals than LeBron. I believe it's less than one. It's like 1.6 for LeBron, 2.3 for Jordan. Not much more. Not much more at all. So defensively, yeah, he won Defensive Player of the Year, right? But LeBron does just fine defensively. Um, I see him getting shots constantly, block shots constantly. You know. Let's look at finals here. Okay. Yeah, let's look at the finals record, but we're gonna break it down in context what these finals are. Yeah, LeBron's 3-6 in the finals. Okay. Let's look at the first one he was in, 2007. San Antonio Spurs defeat Cleveland. Let me tell you something. That team was fucking awful. Cleveland was shit. He had to beat Boston by himself, basically. Okay. and he had to go against Tim Duncan. Don't get that wrong, and the big three in down there in San Antonio. Who did he have? Nobody. No one of record that's can be noted. They got swept. Okay, he averaged 22-7 and 6, 22-7 and basically 7 in the series. Keep in mind that was his fourth year in the league. He already was in the finals. Jordan didn't get there till 91. And keep in mind he went to college. He was already in his LeBron was, let's see. He was 18 when he got to the league. 4 years later, 22 years old. That would be equivalent to Michael making it in his second year. He didn't. He didn't do that. And let's go to 2011. This one, I mean, hey, you could say this is the biggest failure of LeBron's career. I give you that. 2011 Dallas Mavericks defeat Miami Heat. Let's be honest, the Heat should have won that one. I give you that. That's a blemish on his record. He only averaged 18, 7, and 7, basically. That's okay. I give you that one. Okay, 2012, Miami beats Oklahoma. Okay, 29, 10, and 7. He beat Harden, Durant, and Westbrook. Yeah, they were young, but they were still them. Okay, so he beat them. He lost to Spurs 4-3 in 2013. He averaged 25, 11, and 7. Okay. Oh, excuse me, they beat them 4-3. And people talk about the Ray Allen, how it saved his legacy. What about Steve Kerr? What about John Paxson? Did not save Jordan's legacy? Okay then. I'm glad we could settle that. 2014, they lose in 5 games. LeBron averages 28, 8, and 4. Okay. 2015, LeBron faces a team with two of the greatest shooters ever and a hell of a defensive player with no Kyrie and no Kevin, and goes 6 games, averages 36, 13, and 9. What else could the man have done? You're gonna blame him for that? He had nobody. He was facing Clay and Curry in their primes and Draymond Green, who was very good defensively, and still averaged 36, 13, and 9. Did Jordan ever face something like that by himself in the finals? No. He was always the better team. Always. Let's keep that in mind. Cleveland defeats Golden State Warriors 4-3. James averaged 30, 11, and 9 with over 2 blocks per game. Led, I believe, in every statistical category. Won 4-3. Of course, with the help of Kyrie and Kevin. But keep in mind, he led in every statistical category. Basically, that's notable against the most winningest team ever in a single season. He beat that team. Did Jordan ever have to face that? He was the best team in the fucking league. He went 72 and 10. Okay. 2017. That's when Kevin was there. So they had basically 4 or 5 All-Stars on the team. They had Curry, Thompson, Durant, Draymond. That's basically 4 Hall of Famers right there, man. On one fucking team. And they lost in 5 games. Keep in mind, I believe LeBron, I think, was it that year? LeBron dropped 50 in the first game. They still lost. He dropped 50 points in one game. Still lost. So, I mean, what else was he supposed to do? Nothing. Nothing else he could do. Now let's look at Jordan. Okay. Now I'm gonna look up one more thing just to put the icing on the cake here for my argument. Put 92. Okay. Let's check this out here. Let's check this out. Okay. Okay, here we are. So let's check out the teams that Michael beat in the finals. First finals against the Lakers in 5 games. Old ass Laker team. Keep in mind, LeBron's first one was against the Spurs in their prime. Tim Duncan, the greatest power forward of all time, in his prime, along with Greg Popovich, the coach, and you know Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili in their primes, which could quite possibly be the best passing team ever. They were so well coordinated, it's ridiculous. And LeBron was only 22 years old, with no help whatsoever. Jordan had Scottie Pippen, one of the greatest players of all time, who they needed to cover Magic, since he's the only one who could. Magic Johnson. So, were they the better team than the Lakers? Hell yeah, they were. Hell yeah, they were. They were the better team than the Lakers that year. No doubt. Trailblazers. Okay. They had who? Clyde Drexler. That's about it, right? Let's keep this, fair. Let me just make sure. Keep this fair, okay? So, which year was this again? 91, 92. Okay. 91. Trail Blazer roster. Okay. Let's see who they had. Let's see who they had. Clyde Drexler was their best player. I don't see anyone of note here. That's like someone of significance. And it was Jordan Pippen, right? With decent players around him. And I'm not saying the Trailblazers are a bad team, but the point is they were the better team that year as well. They beat them in 6. Then they faced the Suns. Best player they had, Charles Barkley, was a good player. Did they have anybody else of note? Not really. Beat them in 6. Supersonics. Gary Payton. That was probably the best team they faced. I give them that. Supersonics. Let's check that out. Let's check them out. Okay. 95 Supersonics. Let's see. They had Sean Kemp and they had Gary Payton. Okay. And Jordan averaged 27 points a game. That was the lowest he's ever averaged in any finals. Okay. He was barely over 40% from the field, really over 30% from 3, and averaged. Oh no, actually that wasn't the one where he averaged. Second most turnovers. So that was the toughest team. I give you that. That was a tough team, but they weren't better than the Bulls. They had Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan. And they had all the other pieces around them. Kerr, you name it. Harper. So they were the better team that year. And then the Jazz, 2 years straight. Karl Malone, John Stockton, old, withering. While Jordan was in his prime. Rodman, Pippen, in the primes, going at it. Better team every year. So let's keep that in mind here, okay? Jordan lost in the playoffs as well. Not in the finals, because he was a better team every year. I would say LeBron's team, the only year that you got to say, damn, they should have won that one, was against Dallas. I give you that. They were the better team, easily. That's his blemish. What are Jordan's blemishes? Oh, I don't know. Getting, beat in the first round for like 3 years straight. Maybe that. But guess what? He was on his own too. So guess what? Basketball is a team sport. It's a team sport. And when it's all said and done, Jordan never beat a team in the finals that was better than his. Never. LeBron did. He did. Came back from a 3-1 deficit. Oh, but Jordan never got into a 3-1 deficit because he never faced a team like LeBron did. The teams that he faced, the Spurs, the Warriors, never faced that. The greatest dynasties ever. Two of the greatest dynasties of all time. Who did Jordan face that's a great dynasty? The closest thing was the Lakers. Old Magic and no Kareem. You see the difference in competition here? You can't tell me that Jordan's had a tougher time in the finals than LeBron's had. Yeah, he's 3-6. Who did he lose to? Oh, he lost to one of the greatest dynasties of all time in his fourth year in the league, with no help at all, zero help, none. Okay, and then he lost to them again in Miami. Okay, it was competitive, but they lost. Okay, I believe they lost twice to him. No, they lost to Dallas. No, wait, they beat Dallas, and then they beat. No, I mean they lost to Dallas. They lost to the Spurs, and then they won two. So I think they beat the Spurs twice. Then they lost to the Warriors. He had no help. Kyrie and Kevin were out. Again, no help. And he still won 6 games by himself with Dellavedova, man. Dellavedova. Who the hell is that? What is he? Why is he there? Okay. So the difference here in competition, it's not even close. Okay. It's not close. Yeah, but Jordan was loyal to his team and he stayed. Okay. He stayed. He stayed. How long till he got Pippen, right? He came in 84. He got him in 91. LeBron came in 03. Left in 2010. How many years is that? Oh, 7 years. 7 years. And how long was Jordan until he got Pippen? Let's see. 7 years. Was LeBron gonna get any help anytime soon? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Was LeBron's team good without him? Let's see. He leaves. They're the worst team in the league. When Jordan left the first time, oh, they won over 50 games. Now let me get something straight. Jordan's the best player on the team by far. I'm not saying he's not the best player. He's not the more important piece. But they won 50 something games without him. Pippen almost won MVP. LeBron leaves. They win fucking barely 20 games, and that's the way it is now too. They're shit. Okay, so it just shows how good each team is. It's not close, man. Now this is another argument that must be said, and people that are romanticizing Jordan and nostalgic about him don't want to admit it. Competition, players in general are bigger, stronger, faster, better trained, better nutrition, everything. Better athletes, period. Better athletes, period. That's the game we play in. It's a better league than it was 20 years ago, man. That's just the truth. 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. That's just the truth, man. Now you got to put that into context when deciding who's the best of all time. You can't just say 6-0, 3-6. It's not that simple. It's not black and white. There's a lot of gray area. Jordan was always the better team when he was winning. He was. He's had tough moments. He had the Pacers, 7 games. He had some tough moments. But the bad boy Pistons beat his ass 2 years in a row. Swept his ass. And no one talks about that. No one cares. It's all about the finals, all about 3-6, 6-0. And people are, oh, it's tougher back then. It was a tougher league. People could fucking shit on you and he would still score. You really think LeBron wouldn't score? 6'8", 250? Runs like a fucking train, bro? You're out of your mind. You're out of your goddamn mind if you really think that. He would shit and he would shit on people in that league. Are you kidding me? More athletic than anyone there. Would shit on everybody. You're kidding me. There was no rules. He would run everybody over. He might even average more points because he wouldn't have to. He could, not worry about charging foul and just go at it. Ridiculous if you think he wouldn't dominate in that league. Ridiculous. Would Jordan dominate now? Probably. You know why? Because they're amazing players. It doesn't matter what time they played it. But the point is, LeBron's a better player. Bigger, faster, stronger. Has more efficient scorer, better passer, better rebounder. Has beat tougher competition. And by the way, has made more buzzer beaters in the playoffs than Jordan has. Look up the stats. The stats don't care about your feelings. The stats don't care how nostalgic you are about Jordan and how great he was. He was great, don't get me wrong. Maybe the greatest scorer of all time. But he's not the best player of all time. That's LeBron James. LeBron James is the best player of all time. And a discussion. Give me a better argument, man. Give me a better argument that he's not. I want to hear it. Oh, you're going to say, he's 6-0. Bill Russell's 11-2. Is anyone saying Bill's the best of all time? No. He almost has double the amount of rings that Jordan has. And over double the amount of finals, too. Case closed. Case closed. Is what it is. Now, if someone has a better argument than me, please let me know. Please. You established LeBron's bigger, better, faster, and all-around better basketball player. Has beat tougher competition, has been in tougher competition his entire career. What to the finals early in his career. Jordan never did that. Never did. Never. So that's my argument for LeBron Jordan. It's not really a discussion. I don't understand. Jordan is the second best player of all time. We can give him that. He was spectacular. His clutchness was off the charts. Off the charts. And for people that say there was more Hall of Famers back then than there is now, it's because everyone's a better athlete now. It's harder to fucking give someone up, to determine if someone's a Hall of Famer or not. Athletes are just better in general. Point blank. Point blank. So don't give me the argument. There was more Hall of Famers back then, and this and that. Doesn't matter. Players are better today. Today's era are better. That's my debate for that. So let's move on. These are some more, current events. I know I went on a long tangent on that one, a long discussion. If you have anything better, let me know. Please. Okay, so we have. I have to talk about this, all right? I'm not into all this gossip shit, but this is for a bigger point I want to make. Jada Smith, August Alsina, Will Smith. For y'all that don't know, Jada apparently cheated on him when they took some time apart. Were they still married? Yes, they were. Okay. Is there any proof that Will cheated? Not that I've seen. So I'm gonna go off of that basis. Off of that assumption. Jada calls it an entanglement. That's what she called it. Ma'am, you cheated. Okay. Now Will looked like he was in pain. The pain in his face. Now let me tell you what. I can say this with a clear conscience. If it was the other way around, Will be getting much more shitted on than Jada is. Why? Because it's a double standard. Men are just pieces of fucking filth when they cheat. Girls, it's okay. Yeah, I've seen some shit on her. I'm not saying no one's getting shit on her. But people have. But to call an entanglement to your husband's face, that's disrespectful to me. If it was the other way around, I would say it's disrespectful too. An entanglement, call it how it is. A relationship with another man while you're married to your husband. This cheating shit. I see posts on social media of girls that are okay with cheating. This cheating thing. It's not okay, man. Would you like someone cheated on you? It's not okay. And You know, when it comes to marriage, I feel like people rush relationships too much. And this is off experience as well. Relationships, you gotta take your time. There's no fucking timer. You know, you meet a girl. Let's say you're young. You meet a girl. Don't be so quick to get engaged and all this shit. Take your time, man. You got your whole life ahead of you. I'm talking more specifically to the young folks. You have your whole life ahead of you, and you want to get married already. Take it slow. Have good times. Have fun. Because once it's marriage, it's more serious, and that takes away something. You got to be at a certain place to be, have a good marriage for it to and for it to start off well. You know. And I was listening to Ben Shapiro. He gave a really good point. Values. And I don't mean, oh, I like the same movies. Oh, I like the same TV shows. That's not values. I'm talking fundamental ethical values, political, things like that. Now, if both your minds are malleable, right, then of course it could work out. But if both of you guys are, set in your ways, and one of you believes something and one of you believes the other, it won't be good down the road. You know. Now, am I saying go break with your girlfriend right now or your boyfriend right now? No, 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 no. But think about it. Think about when you have kids and both of you have different viewpoints and ideologies. How's it going to work out for the kid? What is he supposed to believe? There's going to be arguments down the road. There's going to be conflict. And that's, you know, an ingredient for failure, for, for a failed marriage. So think this through. Think logically as well, not just with your heart. That's important, of course. Think with your heart as well. But you got to think with your head as well and say, this guy, he's a nice guy, but do I agree? Did we agree? Could we mix well? Would it work in a long term relationship? You got to think this through. People are so quick to rush in. Yeah, everyone has, you know, what you call the itch at the beginning. You have that itch for the other person. You want to be around them all the time, because you have it's like the honeymoon phase, right? That goes away. And that's why a lot of people break up because it goes away. It's just dull, it's boring. You don't really want to be around them. Like, oh, again. That's reality, man. And when you really love a person, what you have to do is overcome that. Your love for that person has to be greater than that other feeling that you have of, oh man, I don't want to go today. Because if you really love the person, you're going to go either way. Go see him or her. That's the toughest part. That's why a lot of marriages end up in divorce. Why people break up all the time. People are so quick to use, oh man, I love this guy to the moon and back. 3 months later, I see their stuff. They're not even there anymore. Oh, I guess you didn't love him to the moon and back because you're not together no more. You know? Don't be so quick to rush into a relationship. And not even just marriage, but in a relationship. Be friends for a while if you have to. If they don't like it, then they can go. At least it won't hurt you as much if you're just friends. Because attachment, is a hell of a feeling. And when the other person gets bored of you and they leave your ass, it sucks. It sucks. That's just the truth. Um, but yeah, man, relationships, the Jada thing, in a marriage, do I think time apart's okay? I mean, that's between you and your your significant other, of course. But I don't know, man. It's a slippery slope. I think it's better to just talk it through, will yourself through it with the other person. You know, relationships, it takes work, like just like anything else. You got to put time and effort into it, into that person. You know, that's just me. But yeah, I want to talk about that for a second. That's that. And now another current event. Kanye West. Is he mentally stable enough to run for the office? My answer is no. When you're crying at a rally, it's not okay. When you're saying personal, giving out personal information about your child almost being aborted and shit like that, you're not mentally stable, man. That guy has mental illness. We know that. Would I vote for him? Hell no, I wouldn't. You know, you got to be mentally stable enough to handle criticism. And obviously, he's not. He broke down, man. He broke down. That's why you got to give it up for all these presidential candidates: Trump, Biden, these guys that can handle the shit talking they take. These guys are mentally strong, man. To be able to take all that shit from social media to the press to all this other shit. They're tough, and they are the ones that should run for office. Not Kanye West. That's a joke, man. I'm sorry. What does he know about politics, or about I don't know. He's not in that world. At least yeah, Trump wasn't a politician, but he was in that world of business and economy. He knows his way around it. He's a billionaire for Christ's sake. Yeah, and Biden is a established veteran as a politician, and those guys are the ones that should be running, not fucking Kanye West. Come on, it's a joke. If there were celebrities I'd want to run, it'd be someone that would have to have years of experience, maybe some experience in politics. I don't know. I don't know if those celebrities exist. Um, you know, but that's just me. As far as these presidential elections, ever since Trump started to run, elections became more of like, you know, a war zone. Ever since he became a candidate for the 2016 election, even before Obama and Romney, it wasn't so hostile. The political battlefield, it wasn't so hostile. You know, people were like, "You're a piece of shit. Fuck you." I'm like, "Whoa, man! Just because I want to vote for Trump, or whoa, man, just because I want to vote for Biden, I'm a piece of shit." You know, it's bizarre. It's bizarre, and it's back to the discussion I've had with on the other podcast with my co-host and Wildcat Bold of not allowing the other side to give their side. That's not healthy discourse. You know how problems are solved through healthy, you know, healthy, productive discussions. When you're not letting the other side, even speak their mind and just shutting them out, trying to cancel them, you just create more conflict. You're gonna upset the other side, and they're gonna try to do the same to you. They retaliate, and then it just turns into a big conflict and a battle. And what's the point of that, man? What's the point of that? Canceling out the other side. We need to come to solutions. Calling the other person a racist piece of shit just because they vote for someone else is not okay. It's very insensitive of you. And you should really rethink your priorities, to be quite honest with you. And I'm talking about both sides. I'm not talking about just the left. Because, yeah, I'm right wing, yeah. But I'm talking about the right wing, too. Right side, too. Talk through it. Don't just insult each other, man. You're not going to get anywhere. Then it starts affecting your life. You start breaking family ties, friendships over fucking politics? Are you serious? Let it go. Let it go. Life goes on. Yeah, policies are important. Yeah, they are. Because the media has painted such a narrative, you know, that if you vote for this other person, the world's going to go to shit. Has the world gone to shit with Trump? Let me ask you. You know? Don't blame him for quarantine. It's not his fault that there's a fucking virus. If Clinton would have won, there would have been a virus either way. Would you blame her? Guarantee people wouldn't be, the left wouldn't be blaming her. The right would. It's not, it would have been either one of their faults. It's not either one of their faults. It's the world, man. It's shit that goes down. Shit happens. Don't blame Trump for a fucking virus. Don't blame Clinton for a fucking virus. You know? It's ridiculous. Think this through. Think logically. Don't think with this. Think with this. Put your pride aside. Put your ego aside. Put your stubbornness aside. You know? It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't waste my time. I'll have a discussion. But the second I see insulting, I'm out. I don't want to waste my time. I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm just going to have someone try to insult me because I have another side of view things. As long as two people are both decent people, they should be able to have a political discussion in peace. Of course, if someone has a horrible opinion, like I think all people should die or something like that, of course, by all means, call them a piece of shit because they are. They are a piece of shit. Or commit a crime, of course. If they're like agreeing with crime or something, of course, shit on them. But if it's a topic that's debatable, abortion, guns, things like that, don't call the other person a piece of shit. You know, I have my opinions, you have yours. End of story. Maybe we can find some common ground somewhere in that discourse. Peaceful discourse. You're not gonna find common ground when you're insulting each other, yelling at each other. It's sad, man, when I see a grown ass man or grown ass woman yelling at someone else because they disagree with them. That's sad. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself, no matter what political party you affiliate with. You should be completely ashamed, and you should really rethink what you're doing with your life and your ideologies. Honestly. But yeah, guys, before I wrap it up, just want to give some words, of advice. I haven't done this in a while. Life will go back to normal. Life will return, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, to normality. And let's keep moving forward. Enjoy work, enjoy school, enjoy your friends, your family, enjoy the challenges. Enjoy it all. Every aspect of your life, whether you're a sports person or a movie person, TV person, politics person, whatever you are, enjoy it, improve, evolve as a human to become a productive member of society. That's what I'm trying to be. That's what we're all trying to be. And if you're still watching this far, first of all, I really appreciate it. And I thank you for, tuning in. I hope that I've helped, with maybe your mindset or maybe you had a bad day, maybe this cheered you up, something, you know. And I'm trying to expand my spectrum of topics. So if you have anything, please let me know. I had two people give me some topics and questions, and I've answered them, especially the LeBron versus MJ. I got heavily into that one. I went about like 20 minutes talking about it. It's an awesome debate. Would I call you a piece of shit because you like MJ? Hell no. I'll be like, okay, I respect your opinion, but I disagree. That's it. The same thing with politics, same thing with anything. When it's things that are tossed like debatable, don't call someone a piece of shit. But yeah, guys, I hope that I've helped. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Trying to evolve myself as a podcaster, and I hope that the enhanced audio with the new mic was appreciated by y'all. I tried my best to bring quality content. I got better lighting, and just keep moving forward. I got some more stuff coming up, some reactions. The Last of Us 2, I'll be playing it more next week. Unless enough of you want it now, I will do it now, like for the next couple of days. But I love you all, guys. And this is another episode of Jay Talks with your host, Jay the Great. And I'll catch you in the next podcast. Peace. We're out.